Murray here from CPL Fever, your hosts, and today we are going to be evaluating one team that has the best support in the whole CPL, and that team is by far the Halifax Wanderers.
Great, well,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, there are 22 very quality players, and I can't wait to go all over talk about all of them with Daddy right here, right now.
All right, so where should we start?
Well, let's start at the back. So we have two really quality goalkeepers, Jason and Christian
Better you.
Oxner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now Christian Oxner Jan Michael Williams last year was supposed to be like the #1 goalie. But
That's
that
right.
actually did not end up happening, and Christian Oxner wrestled that spot away from Jan Michael Williams, and now he was the starting #1 for the end of the second half of the season. And now Jan Michael Williams is the goalkeeping coach for the Halifax Wanderers. But we have a new goalie, Jason.
Yeah. Jason Beaulieu.
Yeah. And from what I know about Jason is he was also thinking about coming to the CPL last year, which was interesting.
Okay.
But he ended up not going because he didn't think that the team would have, the league would have enough. What word should I say? Enough. Like, it wouldn't be at the standard
Viable?
yet.
Oh, okay.
At the standard yet, but he said he was wrong, and it was great. It was a great standard. He had watched a couple of games, so and he's 6'4", just a little
Right.
taller. Yeah, so
Quite a bit taller.
yeah, than Oxner. And
Yeah, so he just got his option declined by the Impact in 2019. So Oxner is relatively short for a keeper,
yeah,
but
is
he's
very,
a tremendous shot stopper in year one.
And he's a great penalty stopper. I think he was the best in the league. And
Oh yeah.
and to be honest, I felt like I was cheering more than I was being sad when there was a penalty against Oxner. I'm not joking. I felt like he saved more than he let in.
Sure. So two quality keepers. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to evaluate. I always think it's a little difficult to evaluate players that haven't played in the CPL because you're kind of measuring them against different competition, you know?
Yeah, and Jason is 6'4", so that's very tall for a keeper. Like, normally keepers are 6 feet, right? So he's even a bit taller for the keeper. So we have a bit taller than average keeper and a bit shorter than average keeper. But both of them, I'm super excited to see.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who's
going to play the opening game. Who do you think is going to get the minutes in this tournament?
I think Oxner just will, because with so much of this being so crucial every single game, I think Stephen Hart is going to go for someone who he has worked with previously.
Really, I wouldn't be surprised if Jason gets the nod. Just in particular, also because Oxner
Are you
is
talking about
such
minutes? Minutes,
because
yeah.
Oxner is such a fan favorite that this is an opportunity to play Jason when they're not playing in front of the Wanderers grounds.
Yeah, but who are they going to play it against? Maybe because we talked about that in our live. With you don't know, a dark horse could really get through, and we don't know who that dark horse is going to be. But
Right.
We've talked a lot about the goalkeepers, so do you want to move on to the center backs?
Let's talk about the defenders.
Okay, so do you want to move on to center backs or right back or left back first?
Well, let's just talk about them all together.
Okay, so I want to talk about, we have actually 5 center backs.
Okay.
Which leads me to wonder, is Stephen Hart thinking of playing a 3 at the back, like a 5 at the back formation?
Well, who
or
are the
3?
center backs?
Well, there's
Peter Schala, right?
Peter Schala, James Jefford, Chris Novik Ensa, Eric Santos, and Luke Green.
But it's looking like Eric Santos is probably not going to make this tournament.
Yeah, that's another reason why he could have signed Luke, but Luke actually was training with the Wanderers in 2019.
Right. So I think they're pretty light at center back, actually.
Light? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, because you have Shala and Jeffard, which will probably be the starting duo, and then you have Ensa, who's versatile, but he played a bit on as a fullback. So is his natural position center back? He's got that versatility, and then after that you're looking at moving into Luke Green, who's young, doesn't have a lot of experience in this league, and is Jake Ruby a center back?
No, Jake Ruby is not a center back. He's a fullback. But to be honest,
so that's, to me, that seems pretty light, because you have one player get injured in a game, and now suddenly you have Ensa in there, and who's covering? You might need to have a fullback come into the middle.
Yeah, but also
right.
Yeah, but also Luke Green has been training with the Wanderers, so you can't say that he doesn't have
I know, but you want to have. I mean, with center back, that's like your solid, your spine of the team.
Yeah.
And I think, if you look at the other teams in the CPL, you've got to look at the Wanderers as being light there, because they were anticipating that they'd have Eric Santos.
Yeah, maybe. Are you saying that they were relying too much on Eric Santos because he was coming from?
Well, no,
I heard really good things about him.
Yeah, they were planning on. Yeah, I think they were planning on him.
He was so good that I'm sure a majority of the fans are actually thinking that he might start over Gems. I personally might think that Erks might start over Gems, but
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess that is kind of a worry.
So if you lost your first or second center back, that you weren't anticipating because of COVID and
or third,
the situation, but I mean, in his heart's mind, he could easily have been the first or second, right?
Yeah.
In the on the team sheet. For center back.
Yeah.
So, I think that's a potential weakness.
Yeah, but so how many games are they actually gonna really be playing in this tournament? You gotta think about that.
They're not I'm hoping it's more than 7.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be more than 7, but seriously, how many games?
Yeah, but you could get injured. Like you could get a hamstring. They could,
Yeah. So.
And then you're looking at having fullbacks playing in the middle, which I think they'd have the capacity to do, but again, maybe that's not an ideal situation.
Yeah.
And if you do want to go 3 in the back late in a game, you want an extra center back on the bench that can go in, that can protect the lead, so you can go 5 at the back. Right.
I guess so. So what are we So we've talked a lot about center backs, and I also forgot to talk about the goal.
Have you seen some play of Gems?
No, but he did lead Haiti to a Gold Cup semifinal, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. So he's a really, really solid player.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah. But
he's young. He's also been through the Impact Academy.
Yeah, and I was just going to ask you, Daddy.
6'3".
I was just going to ask you, what are we gonna say is would you say the grade is for center backs? I'm gonna say B+. Now I know it's very high, but I actually have a lot of confidence in Luke Green that if he needs to step up, I think he'll do really well. I think it's gonna be a B+. I know that it's going maybe a little high, and I know I'm an optimistic person, but I personally think it's a B+.
I think a C+.
C+. Oh,
yeah.
A whole grade lower than me.
Yeah, because I'm just concerned about the depth of that position, especially going into a tournament, where you have so many games back to back.
Okay, and
I think that's probably the biggest.
And I forgot to ask about the goalies. What do you think of them? I think B+ as well.
I'm gonna go A-.
A-, okay. Now let's
Okay.
move on to
the outside backs, left
Yeah.
back, right back.
yeah. So obviously Alex the Careless is back, and he's a really solid fullback. He's really good defensively. He can contribute to the attack, and he doesn't get beaten too often.
Yeah,
He's a really good.
he seems just very
Composed.
solid. You know, he's not the fastest
Collected,
guy, but he can still
composed.
get up there. He can still,
Whipping
manage to kind
across.
of get all over the pitch, and I think that's because he takes his conditioning so seriously,
Yeah,
which is great.
yeah.
So who else do we have at fullback?
We also have Daniel Kinumbe.
Okay,
And Daniel Kanumbe has played with the Montreal team, he has been with Montreal, so he's familiar with Alessandro Riggi and Kristinovic Ensa.
oh he is, okay,
Yeah, so that's good. That's a good sign.
yeah,
He was touted to be like something 40 best Canadian prospects.
right.
Or there was something prospects. I can't remember what, and I can't remember if it was like North America or South America or anything.
I mean,
or like
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of
experience.
pro experience, so
Mhm.
it's hard to say.
Yeah.
I haven't seen enough of his tapes to
Yeah. Now Matteo Restrepo is Matteo Restrepo is one fullback that I'm very confident in that he will do really well. So he's grown up in Colombia. He has played for Canada at the U17, U18 levels. He's he's been at Toronto FC, and he is with Santa Barbara. I can't remember exactly who else is from Santa Barbara, but I know he's familiar with some of the other players. But he has spent a lot of time some time in Germany, and he said one of the biggest things is he's super attacking. Like in Germany, the fullbacks are like midfielders,
Right.
so you can definitely count on him. Like halftime and you're losing, just come on and bring a bit more attack to the team, or start up if you want to get a quick start the upper foot for an attack on it. So he is a really solid option, I think.
yeah.
And Jake Ruby is a U Sports draft pick. So obviously he's performed well in U Sports, and U Sports in the Canadian Premier League level, I don't think it's that different, right? I don't think like it's a huge gap. Like Peter Shalley even said.
Yeah, it's
like Peter Shalley.
it's hard to quantify, and arguably the CPL would be more competitive this year because I think all the teams have kind of arguably improved.
Yeah, you make
right?
a good point. Make a good point. But Jake Ruby, I've heard that he has lots of energy. He's a really good fullback, young, and I'm just excited to see him play. All the fullbacks I haven't seen too much of, but they're all young, and I think really if they can get a bit of experience under their belt
Right.
next season, when it's like more of a full season, hopefully that the fullbacks will be a very strong part of
And
the
also
Wanderers squad.
young players, particularly
great-
fullbacks, can make mistakes too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
make
but
defensive mistakes.
Yeah, but they also have a lot.
I mean, when you think back to the first year, a lot of the Wanderers games were very, very close games.
yeah.
Maybe one mistake here, someone gets beat, a ball in the box, and
Yeah, but they also have good resale value. Young fullbacks have great resale value, like Alphonso Davies. I'm not saying sell them.
Right, but are we looking at what's going to happen at the Island games?
Yeah, I guess not.
So I think, I like the experience that and the stability that De Carolus provides. Obviously, Ensa, has the ability. I think Ensa will probably be used more as a center back. And a lot of the other fullbacks are exciting but young. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna put
and inexperienced. So
I'm
it's,
gonna put it at C actually, because
I'm gonna
just
go B minus.
B minus. Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Wow,
not.
you're slamming the outside backs.
No, I'm not. It's because you did such a low rating before, so maybe I thought that maybe I should lower my ratings down a little bit too.
Shouldn't just lower your ratings just because I do.
Okay, well now let's move on to the midfielders, shall
What's
we?
with this guy?
The center mids. So we have
Okay.
a great group of center mids. We have Andre Rampersad, who is returning, and who I think was a huge underrated
he was
player.
super solid, last year.
And super underrated too, because
Yes.
he really was a pivotal piece in Stephen Hart's midfield.
Definitely.
He played a lot of games, and the rest of the midfield isn't looking too shabby either, with Luis Ballon Goyet.
Yeah, he was a nice pickup. Definitely an improvement.
But then
Again.
there's also Scott Firth that you have to think about, who could have been, you could say, played a bit more, right? I think he should have been played a bit more, and then you have the duo
he was
that
really
have been
good in
playing in
some
youth
of the
sports
games.
for the past 2 years, 3 years, and who went to 3 straight national championships youth sports and won one of them. Omar Krem and Abukar Sissoko, and you cannot take that. You cannot take away that they've been playing for 3 years together, and they've been so solid. And it's not like
That's right.
And it's not like they're good. It's like they're going to finals consecutively.
Right, but are they both going to be able to get on the pitch at the same time? Because, when you're looking at the Wanderers roster, and you're looking at those international spots, there's Peter Schala and there's James Jeffard that will both take up an international spot, assuming those two are the starting center backs. Then there's Alex Marshall, Sanoa, Akeem Garcia, Rampersad, Morelli, and then you have Sissoko, right? Who's an international player. So, are those, and Omar Karim is from Morocco. So, if all those players count as international players,
They don't.
well, they don't.
I don't think all of them, because Peter Schala is close to getting his thing.
Right, but I'm just looking at what's on the screen here, and I would assume that would be
Yeah, but you're only allowed 7 international spots.
right. But how many are allowed on the field at once? Isn't it like
I think
5?
I think Omar Krem though is a Canadian citizen now.
Okay.
But let's just stop talking about that and but let's just go back to the players. So obviously I would like with this midfield being so strong, I feel like Stephen Hart should have played Scott Firth more last year just to get more experience, because now all of these players have so much experience. Now with Scott Firth, maybe I'd like to see, if he doesn't start a lot, maybe I'd like to see him coming in at like halftime or like the 60th minute, just to get like a good 30 minutes in.
So from what I see with the midfielders, you got 3 that can play that deep,
Yeah, because Abukar
CDM
Sissoko,
position. You're looking at Goyet, Sissoko, who's a 6. Goyet can be box to box, but he can also play that defensive role, and Rampersad can play that defensive role. Which
Scott
again,
Firth can too.
yeah. But when you look at that, so I think that's fairly strong, because there were a lot of times last year when Stephen Hart played, the 2 holding mids.
Well, I think that midfield is super strong. That center midfield. So let's give that. I'm gonna give it an A+. That midfield.
Okay, I'm gonna go for A-.
A-. Not even A. A-. My gosh, I can't believe that. The midfield.
Well, I have to
that
adjust my ranking because I know you're gonna go so high.
Oh no, don't give me that. But now let's go to the wingers, because now we have at least four players that could play on 2 wings, because I'm assuming Stephen Hart's going to play with 2 wings. I think he's going to play with a 4, I can't even remember, 4-3-2-1, I think.
4-3-2-1.
Or what did he play last year?
4-2-3-1.
3-1, 4-2-3-1. Yeah, 4-2-3-1. Oh yeah, we have to talk about JackMurray because I guess he counts as it. Or no, we'll just talk about him in this level.
Well, we have some midfield. I mean, the thing with the Wanderers lineup is, you know, when you get closer to the top of the pitch, we have a lot more smaller players, fast players, and
really technically
quick,
skilled.
Yeah, technically skilled. So the question is, where are they going to play in the front there? Are they going to play? Obviously, you know, we're going to have a pure number 10, a Cam that we didn't have last year, arguably. Someone to play in the middle of that, and the wingers, you know, how fluid is that going to be with the midfield? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with the strikers, because arguably, you know, one of the striker, I mean, Akeem Garcia is not your prototypical striker in a league that's as physical as this.
Yeah, but I have heard that
mean?
the Wanderers have been more training Akeem Garcia as a striker, and
Right.
yeah.
But still, I mean, and he's fast and he's quick. But when you look at all these players, they're fast and they're quick. Like, you know, do they have enough hold-up guys? Do they have enough guys that are physical forwards? You know, and how's that going to work? Like, where's everyone going to play?
Well,
right?
to be honest,
and that could be an advantage because, you know, I think particularly looking at the Wanderers squad right now. You don't quite know how they're going to play.
yeah, but to be honest, let's just say they have two wingers because I want to really talk about the wingers.
Let's talk about the wingers.
Yeah, because the wingers, they have so much quality in them. They have Alex Marshall, Corey Bent, Alessandro Riggi, and who's the other winger? Sorry, I'm forgetting for a second. There's Alex Marshall, Corey Bent, Akeem Garcia, and like all of those players. So to be honest,
Right.
Akeem Garcia can go up to the striker if need be. I personally think that you should give that Ibersano that role just to start out because
As a center forward.
yeah, as a center forward because that goal scoring record means that he's a really good striker and
Right.
and just even
But
going,
again, you know, here's another player coming into
going a step
new
up.
league,
But yeah,
taking a step up.
yeah, but going a step up he was dominating that league, so I think
Yeah.
he could have made. So I think he is able to do it. I mean,
Right.
We have an interview coming up with him, and you even heard that like with TFC too, he fit right in, and
Yeah,
they play in the
that's
USL,
true.
which you could say is higher than the CPL or about the same as the CPL.
That's
so
true.
I really don't think that Ibersano is going to drop his goal scoring record, and that's a big thing. I don't think Will Bayham was signed. I don't think he's still here anymore. But yeah, for Will Bayham, and for the wingers, I think that center forward is occupied by Ibersano, and right now the Akeem
Where's
Garcia,
Garcia going to play?
he can play on the right.
But you said they're training him as striker.
I heard that.
Yeah.
But I personally think that Ibra would be a better choice because and I'm sure so does Carlos.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
you know, but they also
he
might be
can-
playing. They also might be playing two strikers. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's true.
You have the hold-up man and the getting behind, right?
Yeah, which
I mean, Ibra's fast too, but
yeah, but
but
even,
Garcia's, you know, the one you'd want
Yeah,
to kind of
and-
try to get behind the line, right?
yeah, and apparently Corey Bent may be even faster than Andre Bona. So if it was like a 4-4-2, and
Man, that goal last year, Andre Bona, when he went the full field, that was
Yeah.
beauty.
yeah, but Corey Bent.
Props to Bono.
Yeah, props
Bona.
to Bona. And you could just see him that.
And Bono was
Yeah.
probably one of the most underrated players in the league last year.
Yeah, he probably was too. I'm surprised they didn't sign him because I heard that they were talking to him early.
I was surprised about that too, yeah.
But with Corey Bent, apparently is even faster than Andre Bono, and
Right.
apparently he is more scheduled on he likes to be on the right a bit better, and Alex Marshall can play on the left, right, or right behind the striker as the cam. So if JackMurray does get injured,
Right.
which we'd hope not, because it seems like JackMurray really has experience in that place.
And I think Riggy can play in the middle too.
Yeah, Riggy can as well, Riggy. And Alex Marshall could take up that space, and Alexander Riggy is as two-footed as a player can get, so he can play on either side.
Right.
So can Alex Marshall. I think
Right.
Corey Ben could, but I think he's more suited to the right. And I think it's good that a lot of these players know each other, because a lot of them you know each other from like the Montreal Academy or something like that. I think Louis also came from the Montreal Academy, so he'd know Chris Snow and Alexander Riggy. But to be honest, those wingers are so fast and so paced and so skilled that I think we could have the best like wingers in the league
So we have a lot more pace on the wings than
last year.
So you got the wingers. I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be a lot of, what's nice about the Wanderers squad is it feels like they can kind of rotate, where they kind of move around and kind of confuse the defense, and they're kind of switching, during the game, during the attack. So it makes it harder to mark, and I think that's one of the advantages that we've got with this team right here. And all you need is that little break, that little moment, lapse of concentration where someone forgets to pick up the guy that kind of just came in, and with the speed that can expose some defenses.
Yeah, because
so that's going to be exciting to watch.
yeah.
However,
JackMurray,
in the striker position,
Yep.
I would feel more comfortable if there was another big guy that can hold up in the box. Because what happens if Ibra gets injured or something?
and I'm wondering also if they're
or they
if
take
the
him off,
Wanderers-
and then they need a goal late and they want someone strong in the box.
Yeah, and I'm also wondering
So, what
are
happens
the
then?
Wanderers not going to play Ibra if they play Garcia up top and they're just playing one lone striker, because they want to make sure that they have at least one striker, because
Right, and that's
that
the thing. Are they
doesn't have
gonna
a lot
play
of
that?
depth
Right.
and in that striker position.
I think personally there's going to be a lot more
Though JackMurray
a
has
lot more
played as a
moving
striker.
around. Yeah, he has too. I think there's going to be a lot more moving around, and we're going to see fluid formations and interchanges. So, I think that's what we're going to see in the Island Games.
Yeah. And
All right. So, what's your ranking? Are you ranking the wingers and then you're ranking the strikers, or are we ranking the forward attacking unit as well?
let's rank the wingers and including like JackMurray as cam. So for the wingers, I'm gonna go for A+.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah. And that's including JackMurray, so the cam position, and let's just say the two wingers.
I'm going to go for B+, because
Oh
I
my
still feel like there's questions.
Well, they are really young.
with the physicality of this league and the youngness of some of them, and I know it's hard to say before they've played a game.
Yeah, but the Jamaican league is I think I've heard that it's pretty physical too, and
It is, yeah.
And
That's true.
and Alex Marshall has come from there, so maybe
The reggae boys, yeah.
yeah, so maybe he will, get a starting spot early on or something.
Right.
But also
I'd like to see how fast he is in this league. That'd be interesting. It'd be fun to see him play.
Yeah. And so A plus and B plus, you said?
Yeah.
And then for the strikers, I'm going to go with C plus.
I'm gonna go B- for the strikers.
Okay.
I think we got some interesting things there, but I think there is that potential if Ibra, comes up with a knock, or just gets subbed off. I'm not sure about the options that we have, for playing different ways late in a game, right? Obviously, there's a way you kind of set up at the beginning of the match, But late on, if you kind of feel like you need to just have a lot of crosses in the box and some big players there, that would be more of a concern.
Yeah, because like in the wide positions, like the fullbacks, they have so many players that could play there. Like you could rotate those players that are starting a lot, and on the wings. And we really don't have that with the strikers. The strikers, for me, would be my main concern.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting if also Stephen Hart can play 3 at the back. Maybe one of those left back or right back, like maybe De Carlos slides in on the left side of the back 3, and that allows the other wing backs and or the wingers to push a little bit higher in the pitch. That will be interesting to see as well. Mm-hmm. And kind of go wide, because that's the other way that this team can really play. With the addition of Morelli, I think it makes them much stronger playing through the middle. Also with Belangoyet.
Yeah, and
so with those two,
a good place in the first striking position. He has said that he's really good at long, far out shots. And we've seen a couple of them in the highlight reel. So
right, yeah. So he's dangerous from the top of the box, but also I think they're better at playing through the middle with Belangoyet and Morelli, and maybe Firth with his additional experience. And then they're also going to be very dangerous out wide, because they can play wide because they got that speed, and then kind of bring it back in. So play it up the line, try to beat them up the line with fast players like Marshall or Bent, and then get it inside and try to bring it down and get it to like a dangerous player like Rigi or Morelli.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so overall, let's give this overall Wander squad a rating. So for me, it's going to be...
I'll go with B+.
I'm going to go A.
Nice.
So obviously, the Wander squad looks really, really strong for this Island Games.
Are they going to get to round 2?
Of course.
That's a big question.
Of course they are. Now, of course, there is a huge potential dark horse, and it could really the dark horse really could take out one of the 4 leaders, who I think are York 9, the Wanderers, Calvary, and Forge. But who knows? But if you want us to do more of these, we're going to be doing more of these videos for probably each team. Gonna try and really get them out, do a lot of them, so we can get all 8 teams out before the Island Games start. That's gonna be a bit tricky, but we're gonna try about that. But comment down below who you want us to evaluate next, because we'd be happy to do it, and there are some great teams in the CPL.
And can I just say, I can't wait for the Island Games. It's going to be so exciting.
Yeah. So the Island Games are going to be here soon. So we just have to wait just a little bit longer.
So stay plugged into the channel for all your news and updates about the Island Games. Peace. We'll see you in the next video.